Hello guys, welcome back to Karims Biology. So this is part 4 of the lesson that we have started, Excretion, the wastage disposing system. So this session is going to be a very important session for you because in this session I am going to discuss about the structural unit of kidney which is called nephron. So let us enter into the topic. What is a nephron? First of all, let us know the meaning of nephron. Nephrons are the structural and functional units of kidney. Nephrons are also called uriniferous tubules or renal tubules or kidney tubules. Children, in our 8th class you have studied that the living organisms, they are made up of structural and functional units called cells, because they are the cells which made up the body of living organisms, and the functioning of an organism actually depends upon the functioning of cells, right? In the same way, the structure of kidney is made up of some structural units which are called nephrons. Like we have cells in our body, kidneys, they have nephrons which make up its structure. And these nephrons are also called uriniferous tubules because they consist of some tube-like structures in which the urine flows. So they are called uriniferous tubules. They are also called renal tubules. Children, whenever you come across the word renal, that means it is related to kidney. And as these tubules are present in the kidney, they are called renal tubules, or simply they can also be called kidney tubules. Okay, so I hope that you understood that the nephrons are nothing but the structural units. And why are they called functional units? Because the functioning of the kidney actually carried out by these nephrons. In other words, the functioning of kidney is actually depends upon the functioning of all these nephrons present in the kidney. Okay, and I hope that you remember, I told you when we discussed about the structure of kidney that the kidney has two regions. The outer portion of the kidney is called renal cortex and the inner part of the kidney is called renal medulla. Just remember these points because they are going to be useful to you when we learn about the location of different parts of nephrons. So that's about the introduction to nephrons. Okay, and what about the size of these nephrons? I told you already these are the structural units, but don't think that they are unicellular. Nephrons are the multicellular structures, but they are microscopic in nature because they cannot be seen or they are not visible to the naked eye. They can be seen only with the help of a microscope, and under a microscope this is how the nephrons appear. Okay, so this is the capsular part of the nephron that we are going to learn in a couple of minutes. Okay, so nephrons are the structural and functional units of kidney which are microscopic, and they are nothing but thin tubular structures. Okay, just look at this picture. This is a kidney here, and this is the renal pyramid of a kidney. Within this renal pyramid you can see so many these tubular structures. Millions of tubular structures are located. That's about the location of the nephrons. Then let us find out how many nephrons are there in each kidney. In each kidney there are approximately 1.3 to 1.8 million nephrons are present, and don't forget they are present or distributed between the cortical region and medullary region of the kidney. I am going to tell you about the exact location. The major part of the nephrons are located on the cortex of kidney, and the remaining portion extends into medulla. See, so this is a single nephron. Actually they are not this much bigger in size. They are not visible to the naked eye. Just for the sake of understanding, this is the picture that I am showing. So look here. This is the tubular part. See, it appears like a tube, right? That is why they are called tubular parts. And where is it located? It is located in the cortex of the kidney and also in the medullary part of the kidney. So in other words, half of it is located towards the cortical region of the kidney and the remaining half is located towards the medullary region of the kidney. Right, that's about the location of nephrons. Now let us find out about different parts of a nephron. Just look at this picture. This is a small picture of a nephron, and we are going to enlarge this picture and find out about the detailed parts of each and every nephron. Okay, each nephron of a kidney is made up of two major parts. What are they? A Malpighian body and a renal tubule. These are the two major parts of each nephron. So once again, let me repeat, they are a Malpighian body and the second part is the renal tubule. So what is this Malpighian body and renal tubule? We will be discussing. Okay, and again the Malpighian body has two parts. What are they? They are Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. Understood? Malpighian body, again it has two parts called Bowman's capsule and glomerulus, and renal tubule is divided into three parts, namely proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule. Let me repeat, the renal tubule is again divided into three parts: proximal convoluted tubule, which is abbreviated as PCT, a loop of Henle, and a distal convoluted tubule, that is abbreviated as DCT. And let me show you these parts with the help of a picture and a flow chart. Okay, now look at this flow chart. This is the uriniferous tubule or nephron, which has two parts. What are they? Malpighian body and renal tubule. Malpighian body is again divided into Bowman's capsule and glomerulus, and renal tubule has three parts called proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule. Okay, so this is the enlarged part of a single nephron, enlarged picture of a single nephron. Now in this nephron, let us find out where these parts located. First, let us talk about this Malpighian body. Yes, can you see this yellow colored structure along with this tuft of some red colored thread like structures here? Yes, this entire capsule like structure along with this, actually these are the blood capillaries. Along with the blood capillaries, this cup like structure together, both of them together called Malpighian body. Okay, right? And I told you that the Malpighian body has again two parts, Bowman's capsule. Now can you tell me where is the Bowman's capsule? Yes, can you see this yellow colored cup like structure? Yes, only this yellow colored part. Forget about this blood capillaries. This yellow colored cup like structure, actually this cup like structure is empty. It is pressed at one side so that there is a hollow shape formed here, and again within this also it is empty, right? So this is called Bowman's capsule. And what is glomerulus? Can you see this tuft of blood capillaries here within this Bowman's capsule? This inside part of the cup of this Bowman's capsule is having some highly branched or profusely branched interwoven capillaries. This network of capillaries is called glomerulus. We will be discussing about each and everything. And now come to the next part of the uriniferous tubule called renal tubule. Okay, now look at this. I told you that this is the Malpighian body, and this Malpighian body extends in the form of a long tube-like structure. Can you see this? From here, starting from the Bowman's capsule, the Bowman's capsule itself actually extends in the form of a long thin tubular structure, which is here represented with yellow color up to here. Yes, up to here, this particular tube like structure is called renal tubule. So this is the second major part of the nephron, right? And within this renal tubule, I told you that there are three parts. The first one is the proximal convoluted tubule or PCT. Now let us see where is it located. This entire part is the renal tubule, and this particular first part is called proximal convoluted tubule, and this U-shaped curve here, this is called loop of Henle, and the last part over here, this is called distal convoluted tubule. So this is the flow chart to explain about the structure of a nephron. Now from next slide onwards, we will be discussing about each and every part individually. Okay, so first let us talk about Bowman's capsule. I told you that Bowman's capsule is a cup-like structure. It is a blind cup-like structure because it is closed. It is blind cup-like structure. It is a cup-shaped broader end of the nephron, right? So this is the nephron. This broader end of this nephron, this yellow colored part, is called Bowman's capsule, right? Let me enlarge this Bowman's capsule and show you clearly. If I enlarge the Bowman's capsule, this is how it appears. And what is it? It is a thin-walled cup, something like a hollow ball. If you take a ball and press the ball from one side, so this is how a depression forms and an empty space forms, right? So it is a similar structure, pressed deep on one side, and this hollow part, and I told you already that there is an empty space here, and here also there is an empty space forms. This hollow part continues in the form of renal tubule. So this will continue in the form of renal tubule. Look here. So this is the part, this will continue in the form of renal tubule. So that's about the Bowman's capsule. And look carefully, the Bowman's capsule here is made up of cells. Okay, and what are these cells? They are single cell thick. There are not multiple layers. Single layer of cells are here. Okay, these single layer of cells are actually made up of squamous epithelial cells. Okay, and these cells are named as podocytes. Yes, these cells are called podocytes. So what are the cells present in the Bowman's capsule named as? These cells are called podocytes. Okay, and then look at the arrangement of these podocytes here. This is a podocyte here, there is a podocyte here, there is another podocyte here, and like that there are multiple podocytes. But the point to be noted here is between these podocytes there will be minute gaps. So there is a podocytic cell here, there is another cell here, but at the place of joining of these two cells there is a minute gap, so that the material from one side can go to other side within the Bowman's capsule. Understood? So these minute openings are called slit pores. You can see here they are called slit pores, and these slit pores, they allow the passage of substances from the glomerulus into this tubular part. Right? So that's about the Bowman's capsule. Now let us talk about the second part of the Bowman's capsule called glomerulus. So far we have discussed about the Bowman's capsule. Now come to this glomerulus. Already I told you that glomerulus is nothing but a tuft of capillaries that are present in this Bowman's capsule. Okay, but how these are formed actually? Let us now find out. A thin blood vessel called afferent arteriole enters into Bowman's capsule. Look at here. This is the afferent arteriole. It is entering into Bowman's capsule. This afferent arteriole, it is a branch coming from the renal artery that enters into kidney. I told you in the previous class that each kidney is supplied with blood with the help of a renal artery. And this renal artery, look at here, let me zoom in and show you here. So this renal artery, after entering into the kidney, it produces multiple branches, and one of that branch, thin branch, is called afferent arteriole, and this enters into the Bowman's capsule. Right? The afferent arteriole enters into Bowman's capsule, and afterwards what is happening? Within the Bowman's capsule, once the afferent, remember this is the arteriole called afferent arteriole. Afferent means incoming. Afferent means incoming. So this afferent arteriole, once it enters into the Bowman's capsule, what's happening? You see, it is dividing into some thin capillaries. Right? It is dividing, or this arteriole is breaking up into a number of small capillaries. Okay, and this number of small capillaries that are divided from this afferent arteriole, they are filling up this Bowman's capsule, and they are forming a network of capillaries in the form of a tuft or in the form of a bunch of capillaries. So this bunch of capillaries are called glomerulus. But again, you see what is happening? These capillaries, they are again fusing. Look at here. These fine capillaries again reunite. So once the branches are formed, these branches are again reuniting and forming another arteriole which is going out of the Bowman's capsule, right? So there are two arterioles, okay, which are continuous. They are continuous. Afferent arteriole is incoming into the Bowman's capsule, dividing into multiple capillaries, and all these capillaries again fusing together and forming arteriole which is leaving the Bowman's capsule. Okay, so the arteriole that is leaving the Bowman's capsule is called efferent arteriole. Okay, so efferent arteriole leaves the Bowman's capsule. So which arteriole enters into Bowman's capsule? Afferent arteriole enters into Bowman's capsule, and efferent arteriole leaves the Bowman's capsule. But there is a strange thing that we have to notice here. Just look at the diameter of afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole. Yes, look at the diameter. Which one is narrow and which one is broader? Look at this efferent arteriole. When compared to afferent arteriole that is entering into Bowman's capsule, the diameter of efferent arteriole is narrow. It has some implication during the process of ultrafiltration that I will be discussing in the coming class. Now let's come to the next part of the nephron, which is called renal tubule. So far we have discussed about the capsular part of the nephron. Now we are going to talk about this tubular part of the nephron, which is called renal tubule. As I told you earlier that it has again three parts. The first one is the proximal convoluted tubule. So this is the proximal convoluted tubule. Now let me elaborate this word. Proximal. Proximal means near. It is called proximal because it is near to the Bowman's capsule. Okay, so this part of the tubule is near to the Bowman's capsule. That is why it is called proximal, or sometimes it is also referred as first tubule. What is the other part of the name? Convoluted. I think you know the meaning of convolutions. Convolutions are nothing but coils. Look at the shape of this tubule. This proximal tubule is highly coiled, right? Look at this. This is highly, forget about these thin structures. These thin structures, about them I will tell you later, but just focus your attention on this renal tubule, which is highly coiled. Okay, as it is highly coiled, it is called convoluted tubule. Okay, and as it is a minute tube-like structure, it is called tubule. So it is abbreviated as PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. And the second part of the renal tubule is this particular part. Okay, look at this. The PCT is continued in the form of a tube which is running downwards, taking a curve, again going upwards, right? So this particular U-shaped structure here, or hairpin shaped structure, is called loop of Henle. This is called loop of Henle. And the third part is the distal or second convoluted tubule. Okay, so this one I am talking about, this is the distal or second convoluted tubule. Distal, I will tell you about these things. First of all, let us talk about proximal convoluted tubule. As I told you earlier, proximal or first convoluted tubule is the starting convoluted region. So this is the starting point of the tubular part. Okay, proximal means nearer, that is it is nearer to the Bowman's capsule. Just now I told you. So it is present in the cortex. Now let us look at the position of this PCT. Okay, so this is the kidney and these are the renal pyramids. And I told you that these nephrons are located in these renal pyramids, distributed between the cortical and medullary region. Now look at this. I'm just here enlarging a single renal pyramid. Okay, so this single renal pyramid here is enlarged in the form of this. If you focus your attention on the single renal pyramid, there is a nephron here, and the half of the nephron is towards the renal cortex. So this part is the renal cortex and the remaining part is the renal medulla. And where is this PCT located? This proximal convoluted tubule, this is the PCT. It is located towards the renal cortex, right? That's what we are saying here. Okay, PCT or first convoluted tubule is the starting convoluted region of the tubule. It is present in the cortex of the kidney, right? And now let us talk about the second one, which is called middle U-shaped part. Just now I told you. So this is the middle part. The PCT extends, it comes down into the medullary region. This part is present towards the medullary part of the kidney. Okay, it comes down, it takes a U-shaped turn and again it goes up, right? So this particular portion of this tube is called loop of Henle, and it is hairpin shaped. You know, have you seen a hairpin? Okay, the hairpin shape a U-shaped turn like this. In the same way, it is also taking a U-shaped turn. That's why it is a hairpin shaped structure. It runs in the medulla, okay, and again turns and again re-enters into the cortex. So this is about the middle part called loop of Henle, and the last one is the distal convoluted tubule. Okay, and this is the distal convoluted tubule. Okay, and then why is it called distal? It is the end part of the kidney tubule. Okay, it is the end part of the kidney tubule. And where is it located? Is it nearer to the Bowman's capsule or away from the Bowman's capsule? See, proximal convoluted tubule is called proximal because it is nearer to the Bowman's capsule, and it is distantly arranged from the Bowman's capsule. That's why it is called distal convoluted tubule. So distal means farther, that is farther or away from the Bowman's capsule. As this particular DCT or distal convoluted tubule is arranged away from the Bowman's capsule, that's why it is called distal. And where is it opening? The distal convoluted tubule is again opening into a long tube-like structure which is called collecting tubule. Okay, it is called collecting tubule because it collects the urine that is formed by this particular nephron. The urine formed in this nephron travels through this tubular part and dump the urine into this collecting tubule, right? So that's about the collecting tubule. Now let us talk about the next part, which is equally important, called peritubular network. Okay, so do you remember efferent arteriole? I have told you that, no? So this is the afferent arteriole entering into Bowman's capsule, forming the capillary networks. These capillaries are again fusing together to form an arteriole that is coming out of the Bowman's capsule. This is called efferent arteriole, right? This efferent arteriole, after coming out, after emerging from the Bowman's capsule, it is running a short distance. Look here. Okay, it is running a short distance, and afterwards what's happening to this? Can you see? Yes, this efferent arteriole, after coming out of the Bowman's capsule, is dividing into so many capillaries, and all these capillaries, you see here, look at this picture clearly, all these capillaries, they are surrounding this tubular part of the nephron. Okay, they are surrounding this renal tubular part of the nephron, and again they are again joining together. Look here. Okay, actually here efferent arteriole is dividing into multiple capillaries, and they are surrounding the renal tubule. Again they are fusing together and forming a venule, right? So in that way, the blood is coming in this way. The blood is entering into afferent arteriole. Through the afferent arteriole, the blood is entering into the Bowman's capsule. It travels in the glomerular part. Again the blood will be collected in the efferent arteriole, and the blood comes like this. Again the blood enters into all these capillaries. Okay, again all the capillaries fuse together to form a venule. Now the blood comes here. Okay, so this is the direction of flow of blood in a nephron. So this you have to understand. Okay children, as these capillaries, as they are surrounding this tubular part, that is called peritubular network. Peri means outside, as they are present on the surface or outside of the tubular part, it is called peritubular network. I hope that you understood about the peritubular network. So by reuniting again and again with other veins of the kidney, it ultimately forms the renal vein which leaves the kidney. As I told you now, all these renal venules, they join together and form this renal artery which brings the blood out of the kidney. Okay, so what's happening? Through this renal artery, the blood is entering into the kidney. Okay, and it is supplied to all the nephrons in the kidney, millions of nephrons in the kidney, and all those blood vessels again fuse together to form this renal vein which comes out of the kidney. Okay, so this is how the blood supply to the kidney occurs. Okay, so that's about the peritubular network. I hope that you understood children. Thank you very much for watching. I will meet you in my next session.